Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, one and all. Today we got a pretty complicated project and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But we're going to talk about a lot of other things that I don't normally speak of during my videos. So sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy the ride today.
Yeah, because that goes all the way around the whole perimeter of the base at that same elevation.
See, here's the thing when you're stepping down like that, because we're running grid at that level over here.
To balance out that 90, too, you know, the grid kind of balances out these corners so too, you know.
These guys are debating on how to build this engineered retaining wall, because this is a pretty big, complicated job with a bunch of trees sitting right behind our retaining wall. And the problem with those trees is they create what's called a dynamic load onto a retaining wall. A garage, a building, asphalt, pavement, that's what's called a static load. It doesn't really move. But a tree, as it grows up, the roots expand, and then that tree has to deal with dynamic forces on it. And that translates into more ground movement into the retaining wall itself. So to build a retaining wall that can handle all of that is pretty critical. And that all goes back into the initial engineering and the geogrid that goes behind it.
Because it's like a 16th all the way up.
I mean, where do you put your grid in? Because if you're running the grid at that same level all the way, well, now you got grid on the base block and then on the next level.
And that's super low because our excavation zone is already kind of pretty low.
Everybody has the potential to be the guy that can take charge. Everybody has that inside of themselves. But we as the business owners have to foster that and grow that and nurture that. Just like a farmer grows his crops, if we want to have the best absolute team, we've got to grow that team. But you got to start with the right seed, right? Because there's some people that want to do it. And those guys, you give a little bit of water and boom, they're going to take off. They're going to just go. There's some guys that you as the owner can see could do it, but they don't believe in themselves enough to think that they can do that. That's a Timmy. Timmy is that guy. He's amazingly technical. He's intelligent. He's an awesome dude. Doesn't believe in himself enough to think that he's doing a good job. Alex is the first guy. Give a little bit of water, boom, he takes off. Other guys, you gotta reel back. They're just charge, not realizing all of the mistakes and all of the stuff they're doing isn't quite right. So sometimes you gotta reel them back. So it's in every single one of us. It's just different. And as an owner, I think the most important thing that we can do is develop a team. And our job is to figure out where to place all of these different skills, all of these different people that have all of this unique potential. We just got to learn where to place that and at what stage they're at currently. A lot of times we can see where they're going to go. But where they're at right now, you can't overwhelm them. So let's just see what these guys do next.
Well, like, I don't think these trees are going to go anywhere, but because I don't think they had that engineer for the step downs. I don't know if it was set for that, because he said, Timmy was saying that he didn't, this was just like a handoff at the office. It wasn't like on-site vision, you know, where he actually took, on-site visit where he took on-site measurements, and it was like super accurate and precise.
Yeah.
This thing, I don't think this thing's gonna go anywhere.
Well, no, I mean, and what you do is probably just end the grid at that level and just start building at the grid for 5.5 foot wall, because this is all going to be 5.5 feet.
Yeah.
That's just the
the bottom, and then they go to 6 once it goes up.
We'll just keep basing, and if we want to put grid in, we'll put it in at this level. If not, we'll wait until the next
or
level.
if we could put a shorter grid in, I wonder.
Or just keep it at this level.
Oh yeah.
I think would be fine too.
The most successful businesses, the best owners, aren't the people that are the best at doing everything. In fact, they're probably the people that are the best at realizing they're only good at one or two things and then realize what they're not good at. That's almost as important as anything else you guys can do. Because when you realize what you're not good at, you can start to fill in the gaps. You can find people that can do the parts of the job that either you just doesn't sync with you, but it syncs with them, and they can take that to the next level.
Placing it.
But yeah, we'll go until it starts to rain.
Well, I've got 2 tankers at my house. 2.
Yeah, we got like 3 down at the yard.
There's 3 other ones down. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was just the Tomahawk's the one to grab.
Yeah, that's the one.
I like this one because it's smaller and it's easier to maneuver around.
No, wait till that Tomahawk.
It's smaller.
Oh, you could thread that like a needle,
throw it around. A little lighter.
Yep.
Because I usually use like a 1550. I'm used to a little whacker, you know.
Dude,
I like
great.
these little ones too.
No, that little Tomahawk. Oh yeah, it just floats, bro. Yeah,
nice.
That's great.
The rain dance, moonwalk on the weekend. Ooh, ooh.
So Blaine's gonna dump some dirt down here, and we'll kind of move it around and stuff, you know. So.
Another thing that I realized a long time ago was that the equipment is important, but it's not the end-all be-all. The end-all be-all is the attitude of your people. I found out pretty fast that if you have a person with a can-do attitude, they can do a lot more with a lot less than a person that has a can't-do attitude. Now this is going to sound crazy, but I really firmly believe that the ultimate overall success of a company depends on a number of factors, and one of the biggest factors is the attitude of the owner. If the owner believes in what they're doing, and if the owner believes in his team, and if the owner is there taking charge and enjoying his work and excited about getting up every day and excited about what he's doing, that's going to be felt throughout the entire organization. I've been blessed by being able to go behind the scenes of dozens and dozens of companies and seeing how they operate on a day-to-day business. And every company has a personality. Every company seems to have a mind frame, seems to have their own almost tangible feeling to it when you walk in. And they're not the same. Companies can do the same thing, but that feeling that you get when you walk in is not always the same. And it really boils down to, what are the people in the office? What is the owner? What do they feel? When they start to have that sync with the teams, man, you can create some really powerful results. Another thing I've learned is to manage, but don't micromanage. Don't try to control every action on a job site, because I've learned long ago, after being in this game for over 30 some years, is that there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's always multiple paths to your end goal. And there isn't just one right way and every other way is wrong. There may be the fastest way, there may be the best way, there may be the way that the owner wants, and those things do have to be taken into consideration. But freedom, the ability to allow a person to go in and use their own expression on a job site, put a little bit of their own ideas into a project, those things keep your guys and your team coming back day after day. I'm not saying let them off the leash and never look at what they do. But what I am saying is give them some freedom of expression in their work, so that when they look at the finished project, they see their own details. They see their own blood, sweat, and tears poured into it in some way, shape, or form. They see a little bit of their own pride into it. And when you start to give a little bit in the beginning, pretty soon you realize that these guys they sync up. They sync up with the team, they sync up with everybody else. Everybody else starts to get into it, so then you have to manage less and less and less and do less, because pretty soon that guy starts to see how the organization operates, and he starts to fit in, but he can still use his own individual freedom of expression to do it. And here's where it's gonna sound crazy again, but good help is hard to find. And we're now paying a premium dollar for the best kind of people out there, and they're worth it. Good people are absolutely worth it, most of the time. But here's where it gets crazy. Sometimes a person with a lot of experience isn't the solution that a company needs, because they come in with their own preconceived notions. They come in with how they've done it for the last 5 or 10 or 15 years or however long they've been doing it, and they know that there's one way and one way to do it. They don't come in with an open mind to new concepts, new possibilities. And if you already run a company and own a company, you've probably developed your own way of doing things, and you know what works for your company, for your customers, and for how your operation is run. And when you bring in an experienced person that isn't used to that, there can be some friction in the beginning until everything starts to line up. So just because somebody has a lot of experience right out of the gate doesn't mean that right away things are going to go good until everybody starts to understand how everybody else operates. But that's all we've got for you on today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this ride. Let me know if you did, and I can make more videos like this for you, where we don't always just talk about the jobs, we talk about things that go just a little bit deeper. But that's it for this one. Hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you guys later. God bless. Go get 'em.